Good evening, everyone. I am myself Maghuyop, and I will be the first reporter of Chapter 3 Genetic Engineering. So, in this lesson, the students should be able to describe the principles in genetic engineering or recombinant DNA technology, identify the environmental, health, and social implications of genetically modified organisms or GMOs and their potential future impacts, and examine how GMOs are regulated. Introduction. Genetic engineering, also known as recombinant DNA technology, refers to all techniques that allow desirable genetic traits from a plant, animal, or microorganism to be incorporated into unrelated species. The DNA with desirable traits is directly incorporated or recombined more quickly and more relab- re- re- reliably into the DNA of target species. So this technology allows plant cells or animals' embryos to be utilized in regenerating cells, organs, and even a whole organism. Thus, a wider range of traits with commercial applications is now available to a plant or animal breeder. So, when we say genetic engineering, it is a method where scientists modify the DNA of plants, animals, or microorganisms. So, to include desirable traits. So, in this processes is called recombinant DNA technology. So, it helps to transfer these traits quickly and accurately. So it can be used to grow cells, organs, or entire organisms. So making it useful for creating or to improve plants or animals with specific qualities. A genetically modified organism or GMO, also referred to as transgenic, is a product of genetic engineering. GMOs are living cells or organisms with altered or modified DNA, making them capable or producing new substances or performing new functions. So this is the process involved in genetic engineering. So in number 1, we can see the nucleus. So DNA is removed from the cell nucleus. So genetically modified organisms or GMOs are living things, while DNA has been changed using genetic engineering. So in this processes involving genetic engineering, we can see a nucleus. So in number 1, scientists take a small DNA test or plasmid from bacteria. So when we say plasmid, it is a small circular DNA molecule in the bacteria. So next is, we can see that in this picture, this is the plasmid and the bacterium. So, number 2, scientists remove plasmid DNA from a bacterium. So, a desired gene is out of DNA. So, number 3, a gene is cut from the DNA strand. So, in this gene is added to the plasmid. And number 4, scientists cut open the plasmid. So in number 4, the modified plasmid is put back into the living cell. So in number 5, the cut ends of the plasmid DNA and the human DNA will attach to form a new loop of plasmid or DNA called recombinant DNA. So the cell uses new gene to create traits or functions. So next, applications of genetic engineering. So these are the processes of making insulin through genetic engineering. So we can see in this picture. So we can see in this picture, this explains how genetic engineering used to produce insulin for diabetic treatment. So in number 1, we see a bacterium and a plasmid DNA. So the scientists take a small piece of DNA and or plasmid from the bacteria. So in number 2, DNA cut with restriction enzymes. So the scientists they insert human gene for insulin production into the plasmid. So number 3, plasmid is reintroduced into bacterium. So the modified plasmid is put back into the bacteria. Next, number 4, engineered bacteria multiply producing insulin. So the bacteria multiply and start to producing human insulin. In number 5, insulin is separated and purified to produce human insulin. So this insulin is collected, purified, and made ready for medical use. So in number 6, insulin injected into patients. So the insulin is injected into patients to manage their blood sugar levels. So biological substances that have practical commercial applications that were once rare or scarce can now be made readily available through genetic engineering. So other substances that were once available in small quantities from animals or plants are now available in large quantities through the manipulation and alteration of genes. So one example is the use of Escherichia coli in the production of insulin. Insulin was originally obtained from the pancreas and slaughtered hogs and bovines, making it expensive and inaccessible. Now, genetically engineered human insulin can be mass-produced through the use of synthetic genes. Genetic engineering has proven to be useful in many different fields, aspects of society. Medicine. Aside from insulin from diabetes, several medically useful proteins like interferon and synthetic vaccines against malaria, rabies, and hepatitis B have also been developed. The process of genetic engineering has other medical applications such as screening for genetic diseases and DNA fingerprinting to identify bacteria or viruses that cause diseases. So this explains that genetic engineering is used in medicine scientists that they create useful proteins and vaccines like interferons. So interferons is high fight viruses for cancers and inflammation. Next is factor V, factor 8 and um, factor 8 and 9. So it prevents bleeding in people with hemophilia and helping blood clot. So next is growth hormone releasing factor. So in this growth hormone releasing factors, it promotes growth. Next is epidermal growth factor. So it helps in wound healing and growing skin cells. Next is erythropoietin. It boosts blood cells with production to treat anemia. So in genetic engineering, it also helps in identifying diseases and harmful bacteria or viruses. Next, in food industry. Food can be genetically modified to have more proteins or other enzymes, improving the nutritional value and even medicinal properties of these products. Bacteria, fungi, and cultural mammalian cells are used to mass produce these products. So in this table, it is an examples of economically important biological products. So we have invertase enzymes. So it is from fungi and it makes sugar for sweets. Next is protease enzymes. It's from bacteria and fungi used in detergents and leather leather tanning. Next is fecton fectinoleic enzymes. It is from fungi. And it helps to clear fruit juices. And next is ethanol from yeast. It used in making alcoholic drinks. So this means that bacteria and fungi helps mass produce these products. So in agriculture, genetically engineered crops or transgenic plants are now available in many countries worldwide. In 1996, countries such as the United States, Canada, Argentina, Australia, China, and Mexico were already growing transgenic plants in large scales. Herbicide-tolerant, insect-resistant, and virus-resistant crops offer more effective options for pest control without the use of toxic pesticides while increasing crop yields. Examples of such application are plants like transgenic cotton, potato, and corn, which all contain the endotoxin gene from Bacillus thuringiensis Bt. Bt is a common soil bacterium that produces a toxin that affects only certain insects such as Lepidoptera larvae. Example is corn borer, but not other organisms that may be beneficial to the plant. So adoption of genetically modified crops in the world. So since 1996, 67 countries have adopted genetically modified crops. 24 countries grew and import GM crops, while 43 countries only import GM crops. So, um, so the top 5 countries producing most genetically modified crops in 2017 were USA, Brazil, Argentina, Canada, and India for the percentage of 91.3% of total of genetically modified crop area worldwide. So, in the Philippines, genetic engineering is used to improve crops, especially in corn. So, modified to resist pests like in corn borers and beneficially in 400,000 farmers. So, next in eggplant, so modified to resist pest and reduce damages. So genetically modified eggplant or BT. So this means that stay health and the eggplants were while non-regular eggplant or the non-BT often get damaged by pests. This helps the farmer grow better crops. So the following are some successful genetically modified crops. So in corn, soybean, canola, super beet, squash, and potato, that requires fewer applications of herbicides and pesticides. Next, in tomatoes that have a delayed ripening process resulting in more flavor and color. So in number one, in potato, it need fewer pesticides and herbicides. While in potatoes, in it suggests that ripen slower for better taste and color. So in number three, soybeans. Soybeans that lower saturated fats and offer better frying stability. So it suggests it good for frying. So number four is papaya that are resistant in ring spot virus. Peanuts with high hyaluronic acid content. So peanuts is the healthier fats, the peanuts. Next is golden rice. Golden rice is rich in vitamin A for a better health. Next, number seven, apples don't do not turn brown even after having been peeled. And carnations that produce blue mold flowers. So, doon lang po nagtatapos ang aking pagre-report at maraming salamat po sa pakikinig. God bless!